Winter Delano here with Adam Trigg for the last canoe and kayak blog update for Rediscovering North America. We're coming to you from Yellowknife, and this last blog is taking place beneath the first wheeled airplane to land at the Arctic North Pole, and it was flown by a St. Cloud Cathedral native, Don Braun, the Arctic Fox, class of 1931. So we're proud to be standing here in Yellowknife to do this last blog. We were here about a month ago and we enjoyed Yellowknife quite a bit. We were able to get out on the golf course and play a little golf before heading out, and we had the north arm of Great Slave Lake to finish and get to the Marion River, but first get through Marion Lake. We were able to sail that last stretch before our last upstream travel of the trip.
So we hit that last upstream travel. It was the Marion River. The Marion River was pretty short-lived for us. It lasted for about a day and a half worth of paddling, which was pretty sweet to be done with it that quickly. Then we hit the Emile River, and the Emile River was the river that would take us all the way to Lake 321, which was the Continental Divide, the last divide for our trip to Portage into Mesa Lake, which would then be our downstream travel. On the Marion and the Emile, we had the fortune of fishing. That was by far the best we've had so far. We caught northern pike, jacks that were all trophy size, pretty much nothing smaller than 30 inches, some up into the 40s, which was pretty amazing. We caught grayling for the first time ever, which was awesome. John and Jared caught majority of those, and then also started to catch some lake trout, which was great because that was something we talked about for a long time and never got. The travel on the Emile and Marion was pool drop, so it was pretty quick. A lot of rapids to portage around going upstream. Spent a day windbound on Bassler Lake, which was amazing, on a sand beach with a great view. And then we also spent 3 days in our tents to a storm that was super windy and rained for almost 3 days straight on the smallest lake I've ever been windbound on. And it was a little surreal, got really sore sitting in our tents. A lot of us looked like we had gotten beat up just from sitting in our tents because our bodies were being so lazy for so long. Finally decided to get out of there even with the wind, and once we did, we got the portaging underway.
And it was about 20 miles all said and done between 6 portages between the Emile River, Mesa Lake, and then Grenville Lake, Grenville being the headwater of the parent river. The weather, you know, for us it was the prospect of things to come, and so by this time it was late August. We did the parent river stretch in only 2 or 3 days before from Grenville we went to Rawalpindi to Parent Lake to Red Rock Lake, and Red Rock Lake is where we met the Coppermine River, really the crown jewel of the trip, and it did not disappoint. We had 2 days of really exciting whitewater right off the bat before we hit the flat water stretch. We were able to sail down the last part of the flat water stretch before we rounded the Big Bend, and then from the Big Bend it's not only all downstream from there, but it's really quick, and the canyon section at the end between Rocky Defile and Escape Rapids was pretty incredible. We had an awesome time, and before we knew it we were at Bloody Falls, and the weather reports we were getting from Brad Delano back home were looking worse and worse, and so the last 12-mile stretch we did from Bloody Falls to Kugluktuk was not great. It was pretty cold, pretty windy, but being able to see the last point to which you had to paddle for the whole trip was pretty incredible, and it really, you know, lit a fire for us, and we got there around 2 o'clock. Sadly, the logistics of leaving Kugluktuk were monetarily distressing, to say the least, and so we landed around 2 and we had to get on a flight around 5, and so it was a pretty quick visit to Kugluktuk to finish the trip, but a lot of hugs, a lot of high fives, and a very surreal moment.
Hello there everyone, this is the 6-man crew of Rediscover North America on the end of our 5,230 mile journey from the Gulf of Mexico to the Arctic Ocean. We're standing here under a Ward Air airplane, and we are celebrating being finished with our journey, and it's great to have time in Yellowknife. We want to say thank you to Ross and Don Marie And also everyone at the elementary school we visited this morning. Great questions from all the students, and it was fun to share our story.
Also, we want to thank our sponsors who've been standing behind us from the very beginning. Bare Naked, Big Agnes, Canoe and Kayak Magazine, Hilleberg, Astral, Wind Paddle Sales.
We'd also like to thank all our friends and family and everybody who donated and really stood behind us on this entire journey.
Yeah, thanks for following along, and look forward to our documentary coming out spring 2016.
Thank you.
Woo!